First of all, thank you for the invitation and for being here, for all of you. I have a very difficult task talking after Lorenzo, the CEO, because he has provided you with many very insightful information. So what I would like to do here is providing you with some thoughts that I have had right after the elections, also following up some of the concepts and data that Lorenzo showed you. First of all, I would like to say something about this concept of terremoto elettorale or critical elections. So in the end, we already know that the 2013 elections were a turning point for Italian politics. There was the Movimento 5 Stelle coming into the picture, and it was already like a big change, especially because after almost 20 years of kind of bipolarism and a bipolar system, there was a third actor coming in and sort of destroying the equilibrium that was created after the beginning of the so-called Second Republic. So my question, my reflection regards whether we are witnessing a new, let's say, era. So whether we are going into the so-called Third Republic, or we are just witnessing a sort of reshuffling of the political system. So in general, we see that if we apply the concept of critical elections, we should see a de-alignment and then a realignment. So we see that after even the 2013 election, but the 2018 elections sort of confirm this, there has been a progressive de-alignment from the left, and voters are increasingly less attached to their parties. So if we see an incoming party system, so a new party system, an institutionalization of this new party system, we should see that these new attachments crystallize. The problem is that we are not in the position right now, I guess, to see this crystallization of attachments. But in a sense, we also see that the Movimento 5 Stelle, the five-star movement, is building up an electoral base, and it has expanded this base and these attachments. So in a sense, we are witnessing the alteration of pre-existing cleavages and the formation of new ones. The problem is that the Italian electorate seems to be quite volatile. In the 2013 elections, the PD got 25%, then at the European elections got 40%, and now about 18%. So still there are some movements in the electorate. So my point is regards the fact that there are some changes, but still we don't know. We cannot be sure whether this is a stable situation or it's something that will still change. So whether the Italian electorate or voters will be more or increasingly issue-based rather than being attached to their parties. So Lorenzo showed that the geographical distribution of votes has changed compared to the 2013 elections, that the Movimento 5 Stelle expanded in many regions, especially in some of the so-called red belt regions. But to see whether a new republic or a new party system is coming in Italy, we should wait perhaps for the next election to happen to see whether this pattern is still present. The same thing applies for the Lega. The Lega is been able to sell itself as a nationwide party, but we are not sure whether this is something related to these elections or it's a trend that is going to be confirmed in the future. Also because there is a factor that it should be underlined, and this regards to the electoral unsuccess of the PD, which is the fact that the PD has been in charge since 2011, which makes it the incumbent, so the only party that has been in charge of all so-called bad things that the governments have done in the previous years, like pension reforms, job market reforms, and these kind of reforms that were used both by the Movimento 5 Stelle and the Lega to mobilize voters, especially among the losers. So we should also take into account that being an incumbent is quite difficult nowadays, so without considering that it is also difficult to see why other parties have been able to capitalize on that. It's because the PD wasn't able to communicate well, or because other parties, challenger parties, were able actually to build a division between them, their hopes, their visions, and what has been done by the incumbent party. And this is it, basically. I hope that this will provide some ground for the discussion. Thank you.